After a lackluster performance against the Cleveland Browns, the Saints will look to bounce back at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Halloween. For the big game, I'm Scott Thornhill. The Lions will play their final home game November the 6th against Northwestern State before hitting the road in Natchitoches to take on a formidable Stephen F. Austin. For the big game, I'm Scott Thornhill. Not only will the Lions be playing for their first River Bell Classic since 2007, Southeastern also has something much bigger on the line: pride. For the big game, I'm Scott Thornhill. In a 4-0 victory over Nichols on Sunday, Lady Lions goalkeeper Lacey Bachhaus recorded her 26th career shutout, breaking a Southland Conference record. For our soccer update, let's go to Carrie Williams. Carrie? After the devastating loss, the Lions will look to rebound when they take on ULM on the road, with the Warhawks looking for their first win of the season after an 0-2 start. In their last meeting with Texas State, the Southeastern football team won by a single point to earn their first victory ever against the Bobcats. Let's see how the Lions fared this time against a team ranked in the top 15 in the nation. After their 14-9 victory over the Vikings in the season opener, the Saints were riding high when they landed in San Francisco to take on the 49ers. After being upset by the Arizona Cardinals last week, the Saints entered Sunday's game against NFC South leading Tampa Bay Buccaneers, looking to gain some ground in the standings. The New Orleans Saints visited Raymond James Stadium and were able to strike early to Lance Moore from Drew Brees' long touchdown pass gives the Saints the 7-0 lead. Again, Drew Brees with the long bomb, this time to Robert Meacham into the end zone, gives the Saints a 2-touchdown lead, 14-0. Brees is going to hit the rookie Jimmy Graham on this screen pass. Tight end is able to get the first down. Next play, Chris Ivory. This is the longest run from scrimmage on the season for the Saints. This man and the Saints running game came alive against this young interior line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was too little too late as the Saints lost their second home game of the season, falling 30-17 to the Cleveland Browns. Despite throwing for over 350 yards and 2 touchdowns, Drew Brees had one of the worst games of his career. Brees threw 4 interceptions, 2 of which were returned for touchdowns by Browns linebacker David Bowen.
You know, we know how good we are and how good we can be. And obviously, we're not playing that way right now. There's going to be peaks and valleys in this game, and you got to fight through adversity at times.
Brees wasn't the only player on offense that struggled, however. Although Chris Ivory posted the best Saints rushing outing of the year last week in Tampa, Ivory had just 48 yards against Cleveland while Brees was sacked 3 times.
You know, we all thought, we did good last week, but, you can't celebrate until next week about what we did last week.
The New Orleans defense provided a little stability, allowing only 57 yards on the ground, minus a 68-yard fake punt run, while Colt McCoy had only 74 yards passing.
I don't care if we play good or bad. I mean, as long as we win, that's what I care about more than anything. So I don't think we play well enough.
The Browns were able to have success on special teams with a little trickeration, such as the fake punt run, as well as a cross-field lateral by Joshua Cribbs on the Browns' first punt return. After a lackluster performance against the Cleveland Browns, the Saints will look to bounce back at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Halloween. For the big game, I'm Scott Thornhill. South will look to make a statement on the road at Monroe to an in-state opponent, as well as to football fans across the state. Although the Lions and Warhawks do not see each other on a regular basis, expect this game to play out like an old heated rivalry. Both teams suffered opening week losses, and both teams will be looking to keep in-state bragging rights. In a 31-7 loss against a 14th-ranked pass-happy Arkansas team and Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback Ryan Mallett, Monroe gave up nearly 500 yards of total offense, including over 400 in the air, despite recording multiple turnovers. Offensively, the Warhawks' ground game, led by running back Frank Gooden, was able to surpass 100 yards, but quarterback Colton Browning struggled with only 72 passing yards. This is good news for an opportunistic Lions defense which forced 5 turnovers in their home opener against Tennessee Martin. Monroe will look to leading tacklers linebacker Jason Edwards and safety Kari Usher for run support, as they will be contending with 2 possible 100-yard rushers in Zeke Jones and Sam Fairley. On special teams, the Hawks will look to speedster Luther Ambrose to have a breakout game as he accounted for nearly 150 all-purpose yards against Arkansas. Monroe is the second of Southeastern's 5 in-state tests, and the Lions will look to avenge their loss to Tulane as they continue their quest of being the best football team in the state of Louisiana. As the fall season comes to a close, Southeastern sports fans can look ahead to an exciting spring. The men's basketball team, picked to finish first in the Southland Conference Eastern Division and second overall, roared out to a 3-1 start in its first 4 games. The Lions missed the inside presence of graduated Patrick Sullivan down low, but they welcomed back 3 seniors as well as junior guard Brandon Fortenberry, who was injured last season. Meanwhile, the Lady Lions basketball team stormed out of the gate with an impressive 5-1 record, with their only loss at the hands of number 3 Baylor. The ladies also returned 3 seniors, but were picked to finish 4th in conference. Last season, the ladies were dealt an early exit in the first round of the conference tournament by Lamar and will certainly have redemption on their minds. You're losing 19 seniors, and this was a heavily penalized team, which is something for Coach Lucas to work on in the offseason. But we've got redshirt freshman quarterback Gavin Webster, who's going to have a little competition with B.J. Young for the starting quarterback job. There's no player like Reggie Bush in the NFL. He's a threat to score every time he touches the ball, and Reggie Bush makes everyone on the Saints offense better. That takes away defenders, opens up areas on the field.
Even with all the injuries that they're having right now, I mean, we're starting Danny Clark on at linebacker. Do you still think that they're the best right now?
Well, I'll tell you what, when the Saints won the Super Bowl, their starting 3 linebackers were Jonathan Vilma, Scott Shanley, and Scott Fajita. And Jonathan Vilma is a captain on the squad, so he's expected to be the main playmaker, but the other 2 are more like role players. Plus, you got to think that the defensive scheme that Greg Williams runs, blitz is coming from everywhere. You don't necessarily have to have a Pro Bowl caliber player at every single position. It's always fun to debate whether Muhammad Ali would have beaten Rocky Marciano or whether Muhammad Ali would have beaten Mike Tyson. We'll never know because they lived in different eras. However, we do have an opportunity to see a fight of that magnitude between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Floyd's been reluctant to make the fight happen, and the only thing that he is doing is cheating the fans. Sometimes it's not all about money. Sometimes it's not all about yourself. Sometimes it's about other people, and Floyd Mayweather needs to make this happen.